Give an invocation. I don't see Ruth here. Okay. Pam, would you like to call the roll?
Sure, Mayor Whitteman, Alderman Detweiler,
Here.
Alderman Gettemeyer,
Here.
Alderman Johnson,
Present.
Alderman Nay, Alderman Waters,
Here.
Alderman Wilson.
Present.
Does anyone have any questions on the consent agenda?
Motion to approve a consent agenda?
A motion and a second? Motion by Mark and second by Laura. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Consent agenda is approved. Do we have anybody for public comment?
Yes, Cheryl Bratton.
My name is Cheryl Pratt. It's a very encore concerns of nearby residents. Listen to the point whose backyards were facing Pine roads, that those living in. Alderman Wilson has already spoken about the increase. As regions are already using. Finding pricing, pricing people. However,
Go. um, ugh. What the city's lighting guidelines were adopted in 2001 and weirdly only address automobile lights. What are the city's standards and how are residents going to receive the promised protection from light pollution? Then there's noise, which as described in Article 12 of the city's ordinances, as any sound which annoys or disturbs humans, or which causes or tends to cause an adverse psychological or physiological effect on humans. During the time a steady stream of speakers stood behind this podium, Inverness resident Dave Miller explained in detail why he moved from his home adjacent to the Waterway Apartments and into Inverness. He had been a Garden Prairie resident for over 20 years, but when Waterway was built, he, his wife, and children were so affected by the chirping of cars being locked and unlocked and car alarms going off around the clock, they moved to Inverness to escape it. Not everyone has that option. I'm paraphrasing, but you should be aware that RSMO Section 821027 states it's unlawful for any condition within 300 feet of residential property to diminish the value of neighboring property, is injurious to public health or welfare, or impairs the reasonable use or peaceful enjoyment of property in the neighborhood. Yet ordinances regulating noise levels in the city also date back to 2001, and none of the city standards address a population as dense as what the Encore will be when it's complete. I'm begging you to get from behind the 8 ball and address the issue of light and noise trespassing in all of Garden Prairie, and especially as it relates to the Encore. We were told standards were in place and would be implemented. It wasn't the truth. Thank you.
Okay, now we'll move on to old business. May I have a motion to read Bill 2520 for the second time by title only?
Second.
An ordinance of the city of Dardenne Prairie, Missouri, amending Schedule 3 of Title 3 of the Municipal Code and prohibiting parking, stopping, or standing for the purpose of dropping off or picking up school children on Expedition Court within the city.
Are there any questions regarding this? I know we talked about it last meeting, but does anybody have any concerns or comments?
Yes, just explain a little bit about what we're talking
Oh,
about. Julie.
I'm
Good.
sorry. Yes, Expedition Court is directly across from Osman Elementary. And there are some parents who do not want to wait to either drop off or pick up their children in the line at Osman Elementary School. So therefore, they were using Meriwether Lewis Drive, and we put a few signs up there so they can't stop and leave their car so the kids can get out and go back. But then they were also using Expedition Court, which is right across from the drive. And the resource officer was having to walk these children across the Meriwether Lewis to the school. So we're, I got complaints from the residents in Lewis and Clark, which is where I live, about the people parking in the cul-de-sac waiting to either drop off kids or pick kids up. So we decided that the only way that we can curtail that is to put up a couple signs. Therefore, when they do that, the resource officer or the patrolman would have a chance to tell them that they can't do it anymore. The problem is, once kids cross that street, then you could have kids running back and forth across the street, especially at times to go home. So it seems like a way to mitigate children being out in the traffic area, as it is a big thoroughfare to go through there. So,
So the question would be, why doesn't the school do something?
because it's off school premises, they can't.
Well, why
They-
don't they restrict the students from leaving the school property until their property picked up?
Well,
They can do that.
I asked that question in a meeting with the superintendent and the principal, and the transportation officer was also there along with Todd, our planning person, and the school said they put out numerous notes. They talked to people, but once these people are off the school grounds, their kids can say we're walkers. So therefore, they can't make them stay, and then the parents are out there to pick them up. So I agree with you, but I can't
Okay,
do
so
it.
the next question would be the obvious one. Who's paying for the signs? The school or us?
We are.
We shouldn't. We should make them pay for the signs. Because, or otherwise, if a child is hit in the street, are we responsible?
No, we're
Or is the school responsible?
neither.
Oh, I think the school is responsible. They would have a heyday with that.
I don't know, the way I understood it, and maybe John could tell it's any different, that once they're off school property, the school is no longer, once the school walks, the resource officer walks them down to the edge of the property and the kids go elsewhere, the school is no longer responsible for those kids. Because they got them to the edge of the property.
Well, I can't speak to that specific factual scenario, but I can say that I have been involved in circumstances where school districts have been sued for crossing public streets.
Uh, That's what happened. It's been 10 years.
Well, I don't know. All I know is what was in the meeting. So
Well, I would propose that the school pay for the sign. How does the residents in the cul-de-sac feel about
Oh, they want the signs.
it? Well, they do, but they'll be up all year and there are people parked there or will they be cited?
No, I think the way the signs, and Kathy might be able to explain it a little more, they will particularly be for school. Kathy?
That's correct. The reason we're actually doing an ordinance on this is because we wanted to be clear that it was for parking, stopping, or standing for the purpose of dropping off or picking up school children. We anticipated and understood that residents in the cul-de-sac want to have their guests park there. It's the school parking and stopping that's the issue.
Well, the school has a plan for how this is supposed to work, correct? Every school does. They have a plan for the buses, they have a plan for parents who pick up and drop off. So, what's their plan? How come they haven't been enforcing it themselves?
Well, they have, because the parents are listing their kids as walkers. Okay? So then once they leave the premise, they're a walker.
Then let's make them walk.
And, well, they do. They walk to the car and get in the car
I
and go home.
understand that.
So,
Let's make
you
them
know,
walk all the way home. See how
well,
that
I
is?
agree with it, cause I walked a mile uphill and back both
love
ways,
shoes, right?
but no, I mean, the thing is, we've talked to the school about this over and over, and our residents are upset, having to deal with this, and we're beating our heads against the wall. This is a very minute amount of money I think we're spending to help our residents accomplish this goal of having the kids go over there. That's where I stand on it, because it is a problem. I talked to the residents over there, because one of your concerns was one of mine about what about all these signs in the cul-de-sac? They have no problem. None of the people in that cul-de-sac has a problem. They just want the cars gone, because it's a circus, and and not every day, but some days it does get bad, especially when the weather is cold. Then they're all sitting out there idle in their vehicles, waiting for the kids the whole time. So, and, you know, we can send police over there, but I mean, our police have other things to do also, you know, so they can't be there every day at that time. So I just think this is a minute expense that the city would incur to do this. It's just my 2 cents.
Matt, do you know how much the signs are? We're just talking about 2 signs, I believe.
I'm not 100% certain on that. Kathy, do you know the price exactly?
I haven't priced them. I agree. I think the total expense would be under $1,000 for 2 signs, but we can confirm that amount if you guys need that information. If there's a, concern. I guess I want to point out that the school has no enforcement ability over the cul-de-sac, and we don't. Sorry, accidentally hit mute. The school has no enforcement authority over the cul-de-sac, and we don't unless we adopt this ordinance. So the purpose of this ordinance is to allow our officers to be able to go into the cul-de-sac and tell people they have to move out during the school hours for picking up or dropping off children.
So will there be a fine for those who do park in there? Or stand or whatever else it says?
Violations of the parking would have a fine, yes, if we issued a citation to someone.
How much of a fine?
I don't know what our fines are for the municipal court parking. I don't, and a lot of times it's up to the discretion of the judge with a cap on how much they can fine the individual.
Okay, if we said, if we gave the judge an idea that we want to pay for those signs by Christmas. He understands what we're talking about?
We can, that's against the law. That's against the law to do something like that.
Yes, but against the law doesn't, so our signs in this ordinance will be a law, but it's not gonna stop people. They will still park
I
there.
mean, I think our police officers issue a lot of tickets. If you look into the amount of tickets issued in Dardine Prairie, there are very well issued. And I think they're very fair in issuing the tickets with speeds and everything else. If you look at, the speeds of when the tickets were issued and stuff like that, I don't think I've seen any ticket issued for speeding under 10 miles over the speed limit. You know, so I think they're very fair with the people and giving them a warning. But then again, if they don't heed the warning, I think they will receive a citation.
Okay,
I'm
And
happy to reach out to the school and ask if they would cover the cost of the signs. I understand that they were willing to participate in some costs associated with marking the crosswalk there. So they may be amenable to helping out with the costs of the signs.
okay. I'm just concerned about us, picking our little toe into this and something happens later on. I don't want to be associated with it. So if we take a part here, are we claiming some responsibility in this or
for
not?
what? What responsibility?
For something that may happen,
Like,
like somebody gets hit by the car if it doesn't stop.
what's that got to do with the sign?
Nothing, it's just a matter that we are taking an active. So is it make us vulnerable?
Everything we're doing is preventing from a kid getting hit because they can't cross the street to go over there to go to the cul-de-sac. So we're doing a preventive measure.
They can't cross that street?
Well, they can cross the street to do whatever they want, but we're stopping them from doing it for the act of being picked up. That's what we're eliminating. We're eliminating the act of them being picked up in that cul-de-sac. Okay, so we're preventing them, if something would happen to them, from going across the street.
Like the sidewalk is on the school side. It's not on the side by Expedition. The sidewalk that goes down from the school to the corner, and then it's an actual school crosswalk, is on the school side. So they're crossing a street that is not meant for a crossing, school crossing.
All right,
They're crossing on the opposite side of the school crossing, which is down at the corner.
okay, I just, not sure that signs are gonna be the answer. So that's my
But I
only.
don't- I agree with you, Alderman. I don't think signs are the answer. I think signs with enforcement are the answer. It'll be up to our officers to go out there and enforce that no parking for us. The signs alone, people ignore them, right? They get notices from the school that they shouldn't be parking there. It's a common courtesy not to be blocking people's driveways and blocking their access areas, and still people do it. We can't prevent them from that. But having the ordinance, having the signs, and having police enforcement, I think is what will be successful in eliminating or at least reducing this problem. And I think at the beginning when the school year starts, those officers are going to have to be out there consistently making a point of we are going to enforce this, right? And then, people will sneak back in a little later, see if we're still paying attention. We'll have to go back out and enforce again, I think.
Well, now that we have extra officers, I think we'll be able to enforce it better too.
Okay, any other questions, comments?
Move for roll call vote on Bill 2520.
So moved.
Tim?
Alderman Waters,
Aye.
Alderman Gittmeyer, Alderman Johnson,
Aye.
Alderman Nay,
Aye.
Alderman Detweiler,
Aye.
Alderman Wilson.
Aye.
Ordinance 2371.
I declare Bill 2520 passed and adopted as ordinance 2371. Okay, officer and staff communications, city attorney,
I have nothing.
okay, city engineer,
I have nothing.
city administrator,
Thank you, Carla. Captain Chris Hunt is here from the St. Charles County Police Department this evening to give a report on our fireworks season 2025. I don't know what your experience was, and this is my first fireworks season with Darden Prairie. We received, I'd say, 10 or 12 complaints related to fireworks. Mostly it's about them being shut off outside of our allowed times, and about the strength of fireworks now, that they seem to be commercial grade fireworks instead of just residential or consumer fireworks. Our fireworks season is limited to the 3rd and 4th of July and only from 6 to 11 p.m. They're not allowed at any other times.
Thanks, Kathy. First, before I talk about fireworks, Mr. Nay, to address the questions about parking across from the school, we don't have any authority to enforce that unless there is an ordinance. So my officers can't go over there and tell people to move if they're legally parked. So, and there's nothing illegal about the children crossing the street as long as we're doing it lawfully. So this really helps us. I would imagine we will probably issue 0 tickets on this because our officers will be out there, will warn people, word will get out. The only way we'll probably issue a ticket is if somebody talks themselves into it. So I would imagine after, I agree with Kathy, we're going to have to go back out there probably a couple weeks later because people will get comfortable and not see us there. And then we'll have to reiterate that you can't park there to drop kids off. So I really think it helps the city. It shows that you guys are taking a proactive approach to preventing a tragedy. So we're going to do our part at the county police to help that from happening. So fireworks, that was, we're glad Independence Day was here, but we're also glad that it's gone. Countywide, we, on those days, we responded to hundreds of calls. Our officers are running from call to call to call on those fireworks complaints. We offer them a bit of discretion. It's not a 0 tolerance, because if it was 0 tolerance, I wouldn't have any officers in service. We'd be issuing, writing reports and issuing tickets constantly. Our practice is we'll go out and usually warn folks one time, hey, you're outside of the ordinance. If we come back, you're getting a ticket, and we're going to confiscate the fireworks. If we have a complainant that is just adamant about us enforcing it on the first time, we require them to write a statement and be willing to testify in court as the victim. But generally speaking, it was, I know to you guys, it sounds like a war zone out here, and it does. It's the same in my subdivision. But generally speaking, this year seemed to be a lot more calm than years past. I will agree that the grade of fireworks available to the public sounds a lot louder and more powerful. It shakes your windows, shakes your house. But my officers don't have any way of determining whether it's commercial grade or regular grade that the average citizen can buy. Without having consent or a search warrant or reason to go inside someone's house under exigent circumstances, we really can't inspect those fireworks unless we have a crime that's been committed. We seize those, and then they have to be analyzed, and it's a whole thing. And then you're talking a felony charge, which takes it out of the city of Darden Prairie and puts it in state court if it is a commercial grade firework and if they're unlawfully in possession of it or purchased it outside of DOT guidelines. So it's a little bit more complicated than just looking at something and saying that's commercial grade or it's civilian grade. So I will agree with you that the level of, or the power of the things is just incredible. The fireworks show in my subdivision, I live in St. Charles City, but one of my neighbors was better than most cities put on. So I understand it's a problem for some residents. Then you have the secondary issue of the mess, trash that falls in people's backyards, on their roofs, in their pools, on their cars. That is an issue. Most people seem to be respectful. We've had a couple residents who really made an issue of that. My officers went out and went over to the people who were allegedly shooting off the fireworks and asked them cleaned up. We did get some voluntary compliance out of that. But I think you guys have the most restrictive ordinance in the county with the 4-hour time window. I did notice on your website that I don't think it's been updated yet. It still shows 2nd, 3rd, 4th. 5th, maybe. Don't quote me on that, but I was looking at the website a couple days ago and saw that. So I'm happy to answer any questions. We didn't issue any charges against anybody in Darting Prairie for fireworks violations. That doesn't mean there weren't any. It's just we usually get voluntary compliance out of people, and they're pretty respectful in the city of what we've asked them to do. So happy to answer any questions anybody has about fireworks. Best I can.
You know if there was any fires, home fires?
Not in Darting Prairie, no.
Oh, good.
Which was also odd for, usually we'll have 2 or 3 house fires in St. Charles County or more. But I think with all the rain, it's been helpful too.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So the visits for the police to go to a house, were those instigated by somebody calling up and making a complaint, and then you guys, or were you with the police driving around?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're both.
Okay.
They're not going to turn a blind eye if they're driving down subdivision streets and they see somebody shooting off fireworks outside of the time. They'll stop and explain the ordinance to the resident, and then if they're going back through and see it again, they'll issue a ticket. But they were both. Any other questions? And you guys make it really easy for me. All right. I'm always available. If you guys have questions, Kathy can reach out to me. No question's a stupid question. I'm happy to answer anything you guys have. So let me know. Thank you. Have a good night.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. I just had a couple of other updates. The Well Hungarians will be playing Friday night for our July summer concert. It's a free concert, starts at 6:30. There'll be food trucks there. Our concession stand will be open selling food. And it's a fun event. And I can't believe we're gonna have a back to school fair already, July 31st. I hate to think about summer being over. It seems like it just started. So, but back to school always sounds to me like it's the end. This fun family event will include free school supplies to the first 50 kids. And there'll be various vendors there and presentations related to supporting kids and their education. And I don't know, Alderman Wilson, if you want to add some comments.
The only comment I would like to make is we want to make sure families are aware about this. So please, Aldermen and people, individuals in the crowd, please let everybody know that this event is coming on July 31st on that Thursday. Thank you very much. That is all.
Yeah, we have posted it to Facebook. We'll promote it a little more there and make sure it gets on our website as well. Bingo is the first Friday of every month, and I just wanted to share that I got a nice note from a resident today about our bingo event. It's not often that we get, people take the time to compliment the city, but I wanted to share with the board because they really appreciate this event and they appreciate the work that goes into it. So thank you for supporting it. Our community loves it. And a shout out to all the staff that participates. Nicole, our recreation coordinator, does a heavy lift on this, but we couldn't pull the event off without the support of all of our staff. And that's something that I'm really proud of, is that we all pitch in when we need to and help pull these events and things off. And that's it for me.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. Hope you feel better. Alderman. Dissent? Nothing?
I wanted to ask a question, but make a quick comment first. I want to give a shout out to our St. Charles County police officers for calling bingo this past Friday. So that was cool. So thank you to them. Secondly, to our city engineer, did we find out about the grass on going up the bridge over Highway N, Town Square Avenue? Did we find anything out about the grass over there that going up the bridge?
Yeah, so that is MoDOT right away, but we sent our guys out, what was that, Thursday, July 3rd, and got all the weed eated up along the bridge and stuff. So it should be all clean for the most part. The sidewalk's walkable now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I'm not there to see it, but I just want to make sure I ask about it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, anytime.
Oh, I have something. I think maybe it's already been mentioned, but the sign, the Cora Marie sign still says Cora Maria. We talked about this a while ago, I think, but I just wanted to mention it. It doesn't look like it's been changed. That's all.
It. Okay, I don't really have anything. Seems like there's a virus or something that's going around City Hall. People around here seem to have been sick off and on for a couple of weeks now, and it hit Kathy, and then now it's hit Mayor Whitteman. So we're hoping to put an end to it and stop the people being sick. So I don't really have anything, but I just want to reiterate his little comment of thanking everybody for being here tonight. It's nice to see familiar faces and some unfamiliar faces, but then to thank the police and patrolmen for being here to keep us safe, and Captain Hunt for coming out with his information. Nice to see Arnie too back there. Okay. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Meeting is adjourned.
Good night, everyone.